Academia.
Hello and welcome to the 10th episode of the My Hero Academia podcast. This week we're going to be covering episode 58 entitled Special Episode Save the World with Love, as well as manga chapter 195 Clash, Class A versus Class B. My name is Sophie.
And my name's Kendra.
But first of all, I think, Kendra, you've got a little bit of news.
Yep, so my news is that the Two Heroes movie, it's going to come to the US in select theaters September 25th and October 2nd. And you can actually go on the Funimation website and buy your tickets now. But if you live in Canada, too bad. They're not on sale yet. Ha ha. And the My Hero Academia Vigilantes chapter came out a few days ago, chapter 36. I definitely recommend checking it out. The first chapter is free on Viz.com, but then the rest of it you'll have to get the volume. And there's also going to be a few new figurines. There's one for Uraraka that is it's just like her like jumping, waving, but her like, I always forget her outfit is like skin tight. And it's just like, why are you doing this?
I don't really mind it, actually. I mean, I don't like her outfit. I don't really like the design on her crotch. But I don't mind the pose that she's pulling. She's happy to see someone, probably Izuku. But
yeah, I guess I'm so used to like the One Piece ones where it's always like horrible poses that I'm just like primed to not like it. But it actually isn't that bad.
Yeah, and I mean, unlike the One Piece one, she has a human figure. Like, yes. She's not going to snap at the waist, and there's enough room in her ribcage for, actual lungs to be there.
Yes. So, it works. I guess, like, I guess her face is okay. Sometimes I think the faces on some figurines, I'm like, that doesn't even look like the character, but it looks good. And there's also going to be an Asui one as well, and there might be an All Might one, but they don't have, like, pictures of it up yet. And, and then we have some news for us. We might have a guest coming on in the next few weeks. We won't really say anything about it. Just, like, keep your ear to the ground or just, like, check our Twitter. But we might be having somebody on. And, do you want to talk about, we might have some bonus episodes?
Yeah, we're thinking of doing a read-through, if we can, of Hero Academia Vigilante series. I've never read it before, so I'll have a new perspective, but Kendra, you've been reading, haven't you?
Yep. So what we could do maybe is we could read the first volume the first chapter, because that one's free. And then, like, I don't know if do you think it's Vigilantes out where you are? Do you think like you get it from the library? Or we could buy it?
Well, I'm moving to a new area that has a large library, so when I get there, I can check.
We could do like a recap of the volume. Not like read through, like we can read the first chapter and then we can do like how we felt about the first volume, maybe?
Yeah. We'll work it out.
Yeah. But keep your eye out for that. We're going to try some new stuff. Vigilantes is pretty cool.
I will reserve judgment. But it does look good. I mean, I've heard some reviews of it and they've all been good, so. So on with the anime. So this week again is episode 58 entitled Special Episode Save the World with Love.
I love the title.
Such drama. So right off the bat, the episode starts with Izuku standing in front of the My Hero Academia logo wearing a yellow top that says Plus Ultra. But then immediately Muscle Form All Might jumps in wearing a matching outfit and explains that though everyone wants to know what's going on in the exam, they're going to postpone it for the moment because they need to save people with love. He then announces the title episode and issues the starting opening sequence off. And I quite liked this little bit because, I mean, I was slightly disappointed it was a filler episode, even though we knew it would be from last week. But I'm glad that right off the bat, they told us that it's going to be a filler episode and that it's filler that's separate to the rest of the arc. Mm. And I mean, all the fillers they've done before, especially the one with Froppy where she's on her work experience, they've been really good. So right off the bat, you know what you're getting, that it's going to be filler, but
I like that they didn't try to like artificially work it and be like, oh, let's pause the exam and do this. They're just like, okay, yeah, we're just going to take a break from this and to go do something else really quick.
So the episode starts with Slim All Might walking in on Cementos at midnight, watching a TV special. The TV special is on All Might when he was younger. The narrator who's doing it. It's not Izuku narrating, but that's the voice actor for All Might, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't notice. I'm not sure.
I think it might be the same one. Yeah, so the TV special will focus on All Might's time when he was studying in America. And instead of answering how long ago it was, All Might starts violently coughing because he wants to hide his age. And Midnight compares him to a maiden, which is the second time that a woman has compared him to a maiden, because Ochako was the first.
When he wanted to have dinner or have lunch with Deku. And I just want to point out, like, having him hiding his age really makes me think he's, like, 60. But someone on Tumblr, I think it's Sai-chan is what she's on Tumblr, did some, like, calculations or just, like, kind of context clues and guessed him to be around, like, 40 or 50. But I think he's 60, just because, like, I think 60 would be, like, why he was trying to hide it, because he's, like, aging, so it would be, like, he's aging out of being a hero. But I don't know.
And then it turns out he's 32. That's how old the rest of the teachers are, isn't it? All like Azawa and things. They're all quite young. Mm-hmm. So we then have a reminder that Cementos is an All Might fan because he knows the different time eras of All Might. And I liked that because we knew Cementos was a fan anyway from the attack on the USJ. But
oh, we did?
Yes, because as Cementos came in and put the wall up so that people couldn't see Slim All Might, and All Might said, thank you. And he went, oh, don't worry, I've been a long time fan of yours anyway.
Aw, that's cute. I like Cementos. Yeah. He's nice.
Oh, he's got a cute little weird upside down smile. The TV then announces that back then he had a sidekick called David Shield, which goes against something that we learn in the manga, but whatever.
Or not a sidekick, but like support. Did it say sidekick?
Yeah, I thought it said sidekick. But the teachers then go to start off the class, and All Might gets an email with the best email announcement. An email is here! An email is here!
Because he had that on his phone, and now it's like, he has to have it on his email. It's amazing. I can't wait until Chris Sabat has to do an email is here. I guess people don't really have, like, email alerts that much, but if I could, I would have that.
Considering how many emails teachers get, this must be really annoying in the office. I can imagine Azawa just being like, turn off that damn alarm!
I was like, I'm going to smash your computer, All Might.
So we get the title card at 3 minutes 45. We learn that UA puts on classes for students who want to train during the summer leave, but they only do it for a few students at the time. So this time it's just 6 students, and it's Sue, Ida, Ochako, Shoto, Izuku and Bakugo. And they're all sitting in their assigned seats, which is strange. You'd think they'd all sort of like sit at the front, or they'd all sit together, but Shoto just gets left sort of in the middle on his own.
I can guarantee it's because Ida's there. And Ida would be like, everyone has to sit in their assigned seats, or else where will the order be? I guarantee you all the other students, whenever they have their class, will be like at the front. But Ida probably made everyone sit in their assigned seats.
They're not disrespecting the rules, yeah. So we learned that what the students will be doing is basically police work. They're going to be going to the scene of a crime, determining what happened, establishing if it was caused by a villain, and then deciding if they should fight or not. But as Azawa was talking, Muscular All Might bursts into the back of the room, declaring, I am here, coming in through the back door.
You gotta love him.
But he's not just All Might. Cementos, Midnight and Present Mike are also there, but they're standing at the front like normal people. Though as Azawa goes through all of them, Midnight does give them like a bit of a saucy wink when her name is mentioned. We then skip forwards and they've gone to Class Beta, which is the city area. There's been an attack on a jewellery store and the villains are holding some people hostage, and that's all the information they're given, so they don't know anything about the hostages, how many there are, how many villains there are. And then Sue, Ochako, Izuku and Ida start bending round the corner like one on top of each other.
I love it because like they all have to be like they have to like bend down to do it so like their heads are at the right level, but Ida's so tall that he's just like, I'm just gonna stand up. I don't know.
And-
It's like scary Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, but Bakugo and Shoto, they're too cool. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Izuku thinks that they should try and find out how many villains and how many hostages there are. And Bakugo has the idea of sending Uraka in first, because she can float up above the window and take a look in so she's not spotted. And even that, but it is still risky. So Shoto distracts the villains by phoning them and asking them a few questions while she does it. And her flying form, at first she rolls up into like a little ball and pulls this big puffy face as she floats up.
I tweeted out, like, she looks like a balloon. Or someone else pointed out she looks like Kirby. And it's so cute. And I also just love that Bakugo, like, didn't, like, yell. He said it, like, so calmly, like, oh, Uraraka can do it. And I love that it keeps the thing that he calls her by name ever since the sports festival, which is nice.
It's true. So while she's floating up, Shoto's asking about their demands. Uraka sees that there are 3 hostages and 1 villain. So the villain is All Might, and Cementos, Midnight, and President Might are all the hostages, and they're all tied up. Bakugo then gets really angry because they're all talking. They're trying to formulate reasonable plans, but Bakugo has no time for this, and he just wants to go in, make a big scene, cause a distraction, and then they can go round back and take the hostages out. No one else is interested, so he just goes off on his own.
I love that Asui, he's the one to tell him off, but he actually is kind of smart about it. He's right by the window. Like, this is the perfect chance. So he's being rash, but he's also being smart. Because, like, the longer you are just talking about it, the hostages are in danger.
That's true. I like that Sue uses the word impetus as well. It's a great word. Yeah. But anyway... Bakugo, he doesn't care, and he immediately just runs off on his own. And then for some reason, everyone runs after him. Why? Like, that wasn't his plan. And even if it was his plan that they all charge in, they don't agree with him. So why are they just following him?
I guess because it's like, if you just leave him, then, like, they know he can't fight All Might. So I guess, like, okay, we need to support him. I guess they're not thinking clearly either. No. I think they're just kind of like, oh, he's going in. I guess we gotta follow. Because his plan of them going around the back to save the hostages is actually kind of good, except there's always possibility the villain could, like, grab a hostage while still fighting Bakugo. But, I don't know. It's not a smart plan. I guess, like, I don't really understand why they jumped from, like, oh, let's call and, like, do the floating thing. I guess my first thing would be, like, okay, is there, like, a cop we could talk to who's gonna be like a pretend cop that can tell us the situation, because that's what you could really do, I feel like.
Yeah, and there are loads of, well, they're not actual police, they're police figurines. They're
yes.
2D cardboard cutouts of police just all around the front of the building.
Yeah, but I guess so you can't really talk to them, but that's what you'd, in that situation, I feel like you'd actually coordinate with the police.
So first of all, Zao says that this class is one which they shouldn't fight in. And not only does Bakugo charge in, but he blows up the entire shop front. So what you were saying about the police, a lot of the 2D cutouts are lying flat down, so they would have been injured in that attack.
Yeah.
As well as Bakugo doesn't know where in the building all the hostages are. So if they weren't behind desks and things, they could have been injured by the flying glass and things. He just goes in and breaks the whole fuck shit up.
Yeah. I guess also he's like, I love that he kind of goes like, I won't let you have the hostages, which I wrote is like, it's actually nice, but you're gonna blast the hostages as well? Like, that's not a good plan.
No. But as he gets in, we see Villain All Might lying on the ground with a lot of blood in front of him and a knife that has blood in, and Ozawa says, this is where the special class begins. And then, it's only 9 minutes in, and that's the end of part 1.
Oh, is it me now?
Yeah, that was the end of part 1. It was only 9 minutes long because we didn't have the actual break in between.
Oh, Froppy, she kind of checks with her hair whether or not he's conscious, because I think that's a good way of testing, because, like, I think doctors have a thing where you, like, pick up the hand and you see if it falls back down on their face or not, is one of the ways to check.
That is not a good way at all of checking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so when you check someone's conscious, you need to physically touch them. You need to speak to them in both ears in case they have a hearing impediment. And she should also be checking for a pulse. Because they were... you don't get your hair and ruffle it in someone's nose. Because what if they start to wake up and then they vomit and your face is right by them? Do you see what I mean? Or they could be surprised by it. They could wake up and headbutt you, and then you both got head injuries.
And she's like, okay, he isn't dead, but it looks like he's supposed to be. And I love that it's like she's kind of checking to make sure like a surprise villain attack didn't happen, because that has happened. I just love that she checks.
She thinks, oh, I think he's supposed to be dead. But if you're never sure, you should never leave an injured person on the ground. They don't try and do any first aid just in case.
They just leave him to die.
Yeah, they don't put any dressing on there.
And
You could just have someone just try, like, hold a shirt or something to try and stem the bleeding. But they're like, we think maybe he's supposed to be dead, so we're just going to ignore it just in case.
And Ochiko fails completely at being a detective because she wonders, did he die from Bakugo's explosion? And Bakugo argues it wasn't that strong. And Todoroki is like, oh, the murder weapon's here. It's covered in blood. And it's like, oh my god, Ochiko, how'd you not notice the giant knife?
He was just standing there. Just his knife just so happened to be pointing at his chest as he was just like, ha ha ha, I'm a villain. And then Bakugo explodes him.
Yeah, and...
No.
Yeah. And they wonder if one of the hostages killed the villain. And, oh wait, where is it that Bakugo asks, I think Bakugo asked, like, oh, didn't you notice it? And she replies, like, oh, it was so, like, there's so much, like, stuff in the air I couldn't really see. I think I forgot to write that down.
Yeah, he says, do you notice? And she's like, no, how could I notice? You blew up everything. There's dust everywhere.
Yes.
How's she going to see?
Exactly. But I love that he kind of has that trust in her, but also, like, no, Bakugo, she doesn't have, like, X-ray vision. And I just love, like, we kind of talk to each of the victims, and I think, like, Present Mike, when they probably originally gave him the script for it, it was probably not a musician, but he was like, no, I'll die if I'm not a musician. And he's just extra and musical, and he's buying a wedding ring for his girl. Eraserhead.
So, Cementos is an employee. Midnight is a customer who came in after the attack, and Present Mike is also a customer. And he does a gesture where he's putting a ring on someone's finger, but he does it on the wrong finger. He puts it on the index finger.
Maybe he doesn't want... Maybe it's... I have no idea. And I also love that Deku is a good detective. He checks if they have the funds to buy jewelry. He's a smart mofo.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to point out about Present Mike is that as he announces himself in his over-the-top extravagant ways, he lands in like a one-legged swan dive, but he holds that pose for a long time. They're all just talking away and trying to come up with like a hypothesis, and he's holding that one-legged swan dive.
He's committed! And Bakugo starts roaring that it was them, and Deku says it would make them obvious suspects, and she's calm and smart, and I love her. And Deku gets to be a detective. He is Batman. Fight me. And Ida made sure it was a villain acting alone. He like went around the area double checking. And President Mike overreacts and I'm in love. And Bakugo starts cracking in his palms like popcorn. I wonder, like, he could make popcorn for people. Like, if people are having like recovering in shock, he'd be like, here, have some popcorn. It'll help you. And he's like, let's make them confess. And it's like, great. Bakugo immediately leaps to torture. Always great.
Yeah, and he has to have Sue. Sue is just his voice of reason because she has to point out like, Bakugo, if you do that, you'll be arrested too.
Yeah. And...
But then he straight away asks Deku if he has an idea, doesn't he?
Yeah, he catches on. And Deku starts kind of wondering aloud, if the villain barricaded himself in the store, why would they do that if they just wanted the jewels? They should have just ran. And Cementos points out that the police arrived as he was loading up the bag, and they realized that someone outside the store called the cops since it wasn't Cementos. And Ida wonders if it was someone who, like, a bystander who saw it outside and called the cops. And Deku does a bit of a leap of logic here and says it must have been Midnight as she came in after the villain, so she had to have called the cops.
The story that they formulate is ridiculous. So they think that... So the story is correct in that Midnight was outside of the shop. She phoned the police. She recognised the villain, and she has a history there. And she came in, and then because the police were there, the villain decided to take them as hostages. But then they decide to put romance in out of nowhere, and they say, and Deku says, no, there's more to it. Midnight and the villain were in love.
I'm just like,
it's not just this simple.
oh my god, yeah. I'm just like, okay. And Bakugo was kind of arguing, saying, like, it doesn't make sense to call the cops and then get caught. And Deku says that's why the villain barricaded himself in. Midnight knew the villain! And we do, like, a great close-up of her eyes. She's very dramatic. She's a great actress. It feels very cop-showy. And she's like, oh, you knew he did crimes. And I just want to say, All Might's villain outfit is dumb. The spiked shoulders are hilarious. And I love that she's following behind him wearing a handkerchief on her head. And I guess it's kind of the opposite of, like, whenever people are thieves in, like, anime, there's, like, the stereotype cliche of them having kind of the upside-down handkerchief on their nose, but since she's, like, following him, it's on her head, so it's, like, a disguise. She's crying as she calls the cops and rips off the handkerchief. And I just want to say, I love her painted nails. I suck at painting my nails, but whenever people have painted nails, I'm always like, oh, it's pretty. I wish I had the hand-eye coordination to do that. Deku understands... the villain understood her real intention, but he continued the robbery, and they do a silly romantic dance, and he ties her up, and the cops show up.
Yeah, and then they're like, but why did he die? And then the plot gets more ridiculous, and Izuku says, but the villain killed himself because he didn't want people to find about his romance with Midnight. Like, no one would have jumped to that conclusion. Like, you see crime happening and you call the police. You don't call the police and you then try and go in to try and stop it because you're a good person. It doesn't always have to be romantically linked just because it's a man and a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
And he makes this weird, like, jump to this ridiculous romantic story that was there for no reason.
Yeah, there's no, like... Before, he's always had everything based on evidence, but now he just immediately jumps to, oh, they're in love. But I do love, like, I love when he goes, like, isn't it because you wanted to stop him?
I don't think this is a plotline that Horikoshi would have written for Izuku. I mean, this could be a plotline that Ishido, that Mina created, definitely, because she likes to put romance everywhere. But I don't think this is... If this was canon, I don't think Izuku would have been like, there's romance here.
Yeah. And Ochiko says, like, wait, if all you said is true, why was the villain killed? And Todoroki's like, she wanted to stop him, right? Ida, she didn't have a motive to kill him. I just love that Todoroki is maybe thinking, like, she wanted to stop him, so she stopped him permanently. And then it gets, like, oddly serious for a second, when it goes, like, could it be suicide? And just, like, all of a sudden, it gets very dark. Also, you think about it, it was Bakugo's fault for jumping in, because maybe he would have killed himself if they'd given him, like, it's Bakugo's fault. Okay, have you ever watched, The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya?
No.
I guess, spoilers for that show, but there's like, at one point, they're having, like, a murder mystery thing, and they're trying to figure out who killed the person, it's like a fake murder, and it turns out that, like, the person barging into a room to check on a person, they, like, knocked the knife into somebody, and then they died, so technically, like, the murderer was, like, didn't even realize they killed the person. So Bakugo kind of killed him, indirectly, because he might not have done it if he hadn't charged it in. And All Might did it because he didn't want to expose their relationship. And there's a dark shadow would follow over her life. And she sealed his mouth with his own hands. And she didn't tell the truth because she realized what he was doing. And Present Mike is just owing in the background, like, oh, and just like, stop him, please.
No, don't. He's great.
Midnight falls to the ground crying. And that's why she couldn't say anything. And then Ochiko's like, oh, Midnight the villain? And Deku's like, yeah. And she's like, it's so sad. She's trying to save him. She loved him. And, like, she starts tearing up. And the villain is trying to save her because she loved her. And Todoroki is like, for this to end like this. How ironic.
You said you cried in this episode. What point made you cry?
Yes. I'm trying to look through if I wrote it, and I think it probably was around here. I was in a very emotional state at the time, but I think it was just like all of them being sad and just like, yeah. I don't know. I think it was just more the characters' reactions to it. And I was just like, oh no, they were in love. I'm a weak person. I'm a crybaby. I freely admit it.
I think I'm like, well, other than being like a 12-year-old Japanese boy, I think I'm just the typical shonen fan. Like, I don't really want romance in it. So this whole thing, I was like, this is all ridiculous. How did they get to this conclusion? This is stupid. I don't want some weird romantic love story.
Yeah. And that's Bakugo. He's like, what kind of joke is this? And Minut's like, oh, it was fun. And everyone's surprised that she's kind of snapped back into character. And President Mike asks how his acting was. And I can't tell what's All Might or Cementos talking. Their voice is kind of similar.
Oh, I think it was Cementos, because we learned that All Might skips off. So Cementos like, a bit over the top.
Yeah.
It was so over the top. He held that swan dive for like 5 minutes.
I feel like they should have just, like, known that President Mike couldn't have been the killer just because he would have given it away immediately.
President Mike is the guy that you want at a party, but you imagine living with him.
Oh my, I would just be like, no. Eraser says that Deku's deductions were exactly the same as the scenario they set up, and good job, there's just one problem. And I love, she goes like, oh, I was praising you, yay! And she does like a very cute smile, and Ida also says, good job. But Eraserhead pops the bubble, you overlooked one major thing, so 0 points. He wasn't dead, and he just ran away. And I just wrote, like, I think this is me just writing, oh my god, I can't believe it, and I just, like, key smashed.
Also, how would he leave and they don't notice? He's a big guy. He's going to make movement when he walks, let alone standing up.
It makes me want to rewatch the episode and try to tell when All Might left.
Yeah, like, I'm annoyed that Azar was like, you didn't tie him up. Like, they didn't give him first aid. Whether he's a villain or not, you still need to give people first aid.
Yeah, because, like, if he was dead, they'd, like, want them to tie up a corpse? That's indecency to a dead body. But I guess they didn't even give him first aid, so, like, and also, like, the conditions of the thing, what do you want them to do? Like, oh, he still has a pulse? I guess give him first aid, but, like, how are they supposed to tell if he's dead or not if you don't actually kill him? Like, I don't know. Because he gave a hint that he moved when tickled, and it was like, ew. Bakugo says, that is dirty. Oh, and someone says, like, oh, if the villain was alive, he pretended to kill himself, but he was really looking for a chance to escape. And they're like, oh, Midnight misunderstood and thought it was for him. And Ochiko, then what about their love? And then we get, like, each person kind of reacting on, like, Deku's like, oh, what about their love? Todoroki, their love. And Bakugo just screams, there was no love!
This is, like, the only time I've ever agreed with Bakugo. Like, the whole way through, he's like, this is ridiculous. There is no love. I'm like, yeah, no, there is no love. You're right. Bakugo, I agree with you for the first time ever.
And the glass breaks and a wall collapses, and, like, the glass wall collapses, and it's just a tiny All Might. Oh, he said there's tiny All Might in his villain suit. And he's saying muscle form is exhausting, and he still has that email to check. Dun, 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 dun. And it's from Melissa.
Ooh.
And she's inviting him to iExpo to see her papa. And she's like, oh, Papa will be shocked if you visit. It'll be dramatic. And we kind of get like, oh, he went to school overseas for a bit, and that's how they met, blah, blah, blah. And she has a bow tie. Bow ties, like, are too, she has a bow tie. Bow ties are cool. And she's excitedly looking at an airplane flying overhead. And we get a flashback of him telling David his mission statement, that he's a symbol of peace, a light to the world. And he wants a world where people can laugh and smile. And he has the All Might car. Or I think the Mighty Mobile. I think that's what I would call it. The Mighty Mobile would be cool.
Yeah, and then at the back, it's got those like antennae that look like All Might's hair and then come up and flatten down, so they're actually useful.
And I also just love All Might dramatically saying Dave while still wearing the silly villain getup.
I love that his name is Dave. I've got a thing where I feel like everyone, well, not everyone, but like most men are called Dave. So like if I don't know, you know, like there's that thing about when Beyonce's song came out and she said, I Becky with the good hair. I feel like Dave is just the name for all men. So if I think of a guy and I can't remember his name, I'm just like, oh, that bloke, Dave. So I love that his actual name in this is Dave. It's such a boring name as well. Yeah. Sorry to all the Daves, but like it's not even David. Dave. You're like, Dave.
You're
It's that bloke, you know, Dave, or 5 of the Daves at the pub, because everyone's named Dave.
We need to like go back and count how many times you said Dave. That was a lot of Daves. And All Might's just yelling, I'm gonna ambush Midoriya on his way back home! And he's running with a suitcase, and he poofs back, and she's like, do you want to go to Island, Midoriya? And he does, and he is very cute, and I took a screenshot of his very cute face. And he does like a mutter storm. He's like, oh, all these companies are investing in, they created a city, and the mutter storm almost pushes All Might out of the scene. I just want to say, a mobile artificial island is just a boat. It is. It's a boat. It's not an island. It's a boat. Islands stay in one place. It's just a big boat. I have strong feelings about boats. And
I have strong feelings about Dave, and you have strong feelings about boats.
Yay! And All Might coughs up blood, and he's like, you want to go there with me? And Deku's like, you and me? It's because you're my successor. You need more discernment. And I was like, what? And it's the ability to judge well. It's like, what? And Midnight agrees, but I don't really get how, like, this is going to help him be able to judge stuff.
Yeah, and All Might wants him to go now.
Yeah. It's like, shouldn't he ask him?
You have to go now.
Shouldn't he, like, ask
Go pack your stuff now.
Shouldn't he ask his mom first? This is basically an abduction. And Deku just screams. He's like, what? And we get an after credit scene, All Might very close to the camera, asking if the bonus episode was fun. And it's like, we saved the world with love, right? And Deku was like, there wasn't really any love. But more importantly, we get to go to Island, right? And All Might says, you'll see if you watch the movie. Go right now and watch it. And All Might says, and I just wondered, like, it's already out in Japan? So I guess it feels like, is it still in theaters in Japan? Or is this, like, for us? I think
it is still out. It's definitely still out in Japan, because they've had over 1 million people go and see it, and they're trying to, because Horikoshi's put out some of his sketches to try and encourage people to still go, or to go more than one time. So it's still out. But I mean, the end of this episode did confirm that it was basically a 23-minute long advert for the film.
Pretty much. I know One Piece has done that too. But I was like, I will, All Might, if they would let me buy it in my damn country. Like, it's actually coming to my country. They just won't let me buy the tickets yet. Because Canada is dumb. And I think it just doesn't have that far in advance yet. And Deku points out, he says, will they or won't they pat twice? And they bow. And they do the sign-off like we do. They do the plus ultra.
They got it from us.
Yes. We didn't. Like, we should sue. It was like, sorry, All Might. We demand $5,000 for taking our sign-off that we actually took from you. Please don't sue us.
What did you think of the episode in total?
I thought it was really fun. It had, like, a bit of mood whiplash. And I don't think, like, they really did shoehorn the love thing. It kind of felt more like them having to do, like, detective work, and it was kind of a different side of heroing that we haven't really seen. Mostly it's been, like, fighting villains or doing rescue, but it hasn't really been the, like, police side of, like, figuring and deducing stuff. But then even that was, like, only kind of the focus before it quickly turned into Deku just pulling stuff out of his ass.
I quite liked it. I mean, I didn't love it like I usually do, because the shoehorning in a romance, like... I'm not a romance person. It's just not for me. Just shoehorning it in. I was like, what? How did you ever make this deduction? Nonsense. But
it was still very, very fun. Like, I enjoyed it. It was just kind of like, and I like the mood whiplash. Like, I don't know. I thought it was interesting, and like, I don't know. It was just, I just find it funny that the filler made me cry. But
it was entertaining, and I'm more entertained by it now, knowing that it made you cry.
But
I know what you mean. At some points, you just have to cry.
Or what? Do you want to give it a ranking? How much we liked it? How much love was in this? How much love did you have for this episode?
I would give it 1 ventricle.
Is that something in the heart?
There's 2 ventricles and 2 atriums, so like it's set into 4 sections, and I'm gonna give it 1
I feel like I'm learning. I'm gonna do Zelda logic with hearts. So there's 3 hearts that you start out with. I'm gonna give it 2 hearts out of 3.
Okay, so this is the manga section. So we're covering chapter 195, Clash. Clash A versus Class B. Oh, Class A versus Class B. So this week we start on page 128 of the magazine. So it's right at the back. But we've got a front title page, which I love because we don't always get. And it's just kind of a close-up on Shinso, looking dead behind the eyes.
Yeah. And I just love, like, it's 195, so we're actually really close to 200 chapters now. I didn't realize that.
I wonder if Horikoshi's going to carry on and chapter 200 will end as chapter 100 will, with the focus being on boobs.
Probably. Like, I would not be surprised at all. And I love that I was kind of right that he does have, like, headphone things when he actually has it wholly on. And his hair is cool. I just, like, I love this drawing.
I wonder if he is wearing eyeliner or if he's just really sleepy.
He's just really sleepy.
Oh, have a nice nap. borrow your sensei's duvet. But no, the seeing the ears bit was really good. Yeah, so it's a good front page. Okay, so on to the next page, and we see Shinso standing there pulling at the Ozawa rope. So he's sort of pulling at that. And Ojiro is so shocked that his shout of Shinso has gone onto the other panel. So that's how loud he is. And he's going to go, so that explains the look you gave me earlier in the hall. And they're looking at him and they're just talking to themselves, which must be a horrible feeling as you stand there and everyone's just chattering away about you. So saying, isn't that Ozawa Sensei's binding cloth? The mask looks unique though. Oh, it's good to have you, man. And he's just standing there with dead eyes again. Aoyama's asking Ojiro, he can brainwash those who respond to him, right? And Ojiro saying, I don't stand a chance. So is this us finding out that he's actually a really chatty Cathy? It's like, I don't stand a chance.
Yeah, he's a gossip. He's like Zero. He's a gossip.
So Mineta is saying Midoriya got whammed too, but broke the spell somehow. And he's just looking back and pulling quite a, I don't know, stupid embarrassed face. I can't really tell, but he's saying, that was just a fluke really. And then he's thinking, actually, Shinso's brainwashing is what triggered the vision of the vestiges to start with. Is it coincidence or
is he a vestige? Like, what is, or what?
Or could Shinso's ability have unlocked something in his brain or something in his quirk that made him access all these thoughts that weren't there before?
Yeah. So it's like, if you're not in control of your body, then the vestiges are.
So Ozawa said, Ozawa's like a cute dad. He's like ripped his child on the first day. So he's like, go on, go forward, introduce yourself. Which I thought was so sweet, as Shinso's thinking back to all the naysayers when he was younger, telling him that his quirk would be great for him to be a villain, and he can just do things that whatever he wants to, and he won't have to actually get his hands dirty and not very nice friends. And so he starts to introduce himself to everyone, and he said, I had encounters with several of you at the sports festival, but don't think that we're friends just because we fought. I'm not the type for displays of good sportsmanship like that. I'm already so far behind you all. I'm doing everything I can to catch up.
He's a Syndra.
Yeah, he's just straight away just like, I know some of you, but we're not friends. I'm not here for sportsmanship.
It's like, great, you want to join our class, but you don't want to be friends with us. That's nice.
I don't know if he actually means that. You know when like people are embarrassed and they try and act tough so that people can't tell that they're actually quite nervous and vulnerable. I think he's probably quite sensitive because he took what everyone said about his quirk really to heart. So we don't know. This is the first time. He might just be trying to put on a front.
Maybe, we'll see.
I think this is a scary thing to do, to go up in front of people you don't know and try and like join their group of like 40 people. I feel nervous for him. As he's saying this, Izuku is thinking back to his fight that he had with Shinso, when Shinso told him that he had a natural ability, he was blessed, so he wouldn't be able to understand his point of view. He said, you people, born with your awesome quirks, getting to follow all your dreams. I like that flashback was only very small when it didn't take up more of the page, even though it was like 100 chapters ago.
It's more than that, because 100 chapters ago was the Kamino fight.
Yeah, so I'm glad Horikoshi didn't focus on the reminding us again.
Yeah, and it's kind of a good thing of, like, this whole page is kind of a recap, like, oh, they fought, he, like, was able to break out of it because he broke his finger, or not break, he, like, or twitched his finger or something. So it's just, like, it's very good, like, very minimal amount of refreshing.
So then on to the next page, and we see Shinso, and he's still saying, I'll be a great hero someday, and strive to use my quirk to help people.
Yeah.
So to me, all of you here are just obstacles to overcome. I'm not here to make friends. He's really honing that point in.
I'd give him, like, how many chapters before he becomes friends with everybody? Okay, let's do a bet. How long until Shinso is friends with Deku?
I guess it depends how long we think until he joins the class.
Yeah, because it's also, like, how long during their fight, because they're going to be last fighting against each other. So there could be a lot of chapters. Yeah, or let's keep the discussion. I say we'll start, once he actually starts to fight Midoriya, I'll start the count for how long till they become friends. Because right now we don't know, like, they're at the end, so there's, like, a while. But we'll see.
So after he finishes on his I'm not here to make friends, everyone just kind of looks awkward, and they start an awkward slow clap.
I think it's just Tokuya. Oh no, wait, other people are clapping.
Yeah,
but, like,
they're all clapping except for, like, the only one I can see who isn't clapping is Sato, who's just got his hands on his hip. Like, what? Ochiku's kind of pulling a scared face, saying, "How delightful!" as she claps along. Tokuyami saying, "Oh, how stiff." So,
I think he's just like, he's impressed because it's also very, like, emo, so it's like, yes, this is very fitting for me.
I found one of my own.
Yes.
Sero says, reminds me of a pre-upgrade Roki, which I really liked, because that was, Todoroki did say at the sports festival, he came in, didn't he, when he was announced Izuku as his enemy, and said, we're not going to be friends. So it was an early Todoroki.
And then Deku had to, like, break all of his fingers and, like, get a massive scar before he's like, okay, yeah, we're friends. So, like, will Deku have to break any bones to be friend Shindo? I also love the Roki part. It's just, like, it's such a cute nickname for Todoroki.
But Shoto, it just doesn't figure on. He's like, oh, really? And they're like, yes. Yes, that is what you were like. He's like, oh. Like, it's just got a really short-term memory. But Monoma is thinking, oh, I like this guy. This is the sort of attitude that I can get on board with.
Oh my god, they shouldn't team up.
So Ozawa says, let's get right to it then. Battle training time. I think
that's Vlad.
Vlad's just like, battle training. He doesn't care about anything else. He wants to get straight to it. So we learn that it's going to be a series of matches pitting Class A against Class B. The battlefield is the one section of athletic grounds, Gamma. Both classes split into 4 teams and square off against another team.
Or split into teams of 4.
Oh, okay. Both classes split into teams of 4 and square off against another team. So we get a little bit of information on athletic grounds, Gamma. It's a training area designed to resemble an industrial block, defined by a lack of wide open spaces, with plenty of blind spots and poor footholds. I can't remember her name, but her quirk is tail cut. Mm-hmm. And she's excited. 4 passion teams should be fun. Little Mushroom agrees that it'll be fun, and again she's looking up, we can't see her eyes.
She's so cute.
Yeah, and Beast is saying, with Shinso added, we've got 41 altogether. How do we account for him? In comes Slim, All Might and Midnight, and they're saying Shinso will be participating in 2 matches, joining Class A for one and B for the other, meaning 2 of the 5 matches will be 5 versus 4.
And I love that it appears All Might's actually wearing clothes that fit for once.
Yeah, he got a nice tailored suit.
It's very nice. And we get a shot of Toru being really excited. That's not fair for 4-person teams. And we get a reply from Vlad still, I think. The 4 students who have to incorporate the inexperienced Shinso are actually at disadvantage. Having 5 members will give you the edge number-wise, but it's also a handicap. The scenario this time around is heroes trying to capture a team of villains. So think of the opposing team as villains. Capture 4 of your opponents to win. And Mushroom points out, villains do the team-up thing too, huh? And, Tetsu
Tetsu
Tetsu.
Tetsu.
I was like, wait, his name is literally like 4 times. How could I forget it? And he says, nice and simple. I love it.
Do you think the way that he's drawn here, his mask kind of makes him look like a mouse?
Maybe.
I thought he looks like a mouse.
I think if his ears were bigger, but he does have that like mask thing going on. And Ida is having a crisis going, so we're heroes, but opponents view us as villains? Which role do we play up then? Because I love that he did the villain act during the previous trading one, and then he had to fight Stain, and Stain was someone who probably was I'm cleaning up the heroes. So it's kind of what is a hero and what is a villain? But then Momo just has the simple answer of, let's go with heroes, because, why not?
Yeah, she needs to get him out of his little traumatized state.
And each team's home base has a cutesy-wootsy lock-em-up prison. The instant someone's thrown in the cage, they count as captured. What high stakes! And I guess, you're not allowed to escape from the prison, seems to be, the general rule.
And the prison says on it, hard labour for 99,999 years. Eternal regret. But Nezu on the top is saying, welcome.
It makes me wonder, what is the prison like in My Hero Academia? We've seen, Tartarus or whatever, but where do, normal people go? Is this a joke? Or is this, what do they actually do with their villains?
I mean, I doubt they look like this. With a little mouse on.
Yes, I hate to do it again, but have you ever read Assassination's Classroom?
No.
Because there's another moment when they have kind of a capture the team thing, but they're allowed to escape from the prisons, and they have to, fake out their teacher who's, a monster that's super fast, but they just, bribe him with porn to get out of prison. And it's amazing. Please read Assassination Classroom. But anyways, probably wasn't the best description of it. But we get the beast guy going, the efficient strategy would be to disable the enemy near our base. Easier said than done, probably. And Bakugo's capture 4 opponents with. Sorry, I can't talk. Capture 4 opponents to win. Is that what you meant by handicap? And Kaminari is very confused. And we get a pretty shot of Eraser saying, yes, not only is Shinso inexperienced, but the 5-person team he's on still loses if 4 members are caught. So that team's gotta fight while carrying dead weight? Crap. And so it says, that's a nasty way to phrase it. And I wonder, is that Bakugo still talking when he says crap?
Yeah, it could be. And then that could probably be either Kaminari or Kirishima being like, that's a nasty way to phrase it. Because it is a nasty way to phrase it. I don't know who else would be that directly cruel.
Yes. And Shinso says, he's not wrong. And it's this guy's light years ahead of the maturity department. And now, time to draw lots. And I love the little, the lots thing is very cute.
I like thinking of them in their, break time, making these boxes.
Very cute. And now we get a whole spread of who's on what team. But I'm just sad that Kirishima and Tetsu aren't going to be fighting against each other.
Oh, and they need to be split up.
Yeah. And I just think, why is it only the first team of Class B that has their names? I need them for all of them.
I think we'll get the names when it comes to their fights.
Oh,
but
true.
For everyone that's on Twitter, when this episode comes out, I've written the quirks of all of the Class B students on, so it'll be easier to go through and think of who's fighting who with whose quirk and how they'll match up together. Yeah, because I'm not going to go through one by one. I just want to say Kosei looks scary. He's the air bubble guy, right? Yeah. His eyes are terrifying. He's dead inside. Wait. Oh, sorry, one sec. Let me just double check. Air bubble is solid. His name's Solid. Oh, Solid Air. He just looks simple to me.
His eyes look scary.
Oh, see, I think he looks simple.
And I just love that Team 2, they're all doing the same pose for Class B. It's they're so extra. And also we have to point out that Toru is petting Dark Shadow, which is really cute. But it's also funny that Dark Shadow is on a team with 2 people who fight with light, which might be bad. Because, like, how do they fight together? But Momo's there to, like, do, like, shields, kind of. So, like, maybe they can block. I guess she could, like, help cover up Dark Shadow to make sure he's not, like, blinded.
I'm guessing that Tokiyami will fight against the gentleman whose quirk is just black.
Exactly. I'm just like, what?
Black. Just black. Not even blackness or darkness, it's just black.
Yes. And,
I mean, we've seen Kendo and Momo together, so we know they've got a relationship there, so I guess they might have more insight into how each other fight together. Having Kaminari and Kirishima in the same team, I love when Kaminari's in between and he's roped his arm around Koda and Koda just looks like he's being pulled into this group hug, and he's quite tall as well, so Kaminari must have sort of jumped up to rope him into it, and he's just like, oh.
I can't tell, is his arm around him as well? Because I know he's around Kirishima, but...
I think it is, because it looks like Koda? His shoulder's going up, so he's latching onto him. And then Ida's pose, if his arm was slightly higher up, it would be troublesome. It's in just the right height for it to be okay.
I'm not quite sure what he's doing. But I think it'll be interesting. I love that Pony girl is going to be fighting Todoroki. I hope she, like, stomps him. Like, I love Todoroki. He's amazing. He's not full of himself at all. But, like, I kind of want somebody to just, like, nerf him really quick. It would just be funny to me. Because, like, I love Todoroki's on a team that's very much of people being, like, more like the physical stuff. Because, Ojiro just fights with his tail. What's his name?
Shoji,
yes. I can always just think of him as being, like, the door paper thing, but Shoji...
He's observational, isn't he? He'd be great for reconnaissance.
Mm-hmm. And then Ida, like, goes fast and kind of, like, barrel into people. And then, like, the other team, we have, like, basically Kirishima and Tetsu. And then double impact guy, softening guy, and Pony, whatever she can do. So I think it'll be an interesting matchup of people. Yeah.
Team 3 had to have Ida on, because otherwise they would all be too quiet. They're all very chill, so they need someone kind of mad.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of has a leader on their team. Like, I think Asui is a good leader. Momo, Ida's the leader. He can kind of Todoroki. Bakugo leads Team 4, and Deku leads Team 5.
Is Sato already eating?
Oh,
I think he's just sucking his finger. I think he's already eating.
He's already putting sugar in.
And then Team 5 is just so enthusiastic. Imagine if they're just so loud that they get caught out straight away. They're like, oh, they're there. I can hear them.
I wonder, like, what is Zero doing with his hand? Is he, like, cracking his wrists?
I think he's just, it looks like he's just stretching or something.
It looks weird. And it's kind of funny. Jiro and Bakugo are doing almost the same expression.
Yeah, they're both very deadpan.
And
I'm glad that they're on the same team. I like them.
Yep. And Monoma is being extra, but the rest of his team is like, we don't care. And I love that
they're all looking at him like, what are you doing?
And we get Deku's team, and I love that. I kind of love that he's pairing up with Mineta, because, like, when he paired up with Mineta, or he had to during, like, USJ, he did some, like, interesting stuff with his powers, so I'm hoping that we'll get to see that again. And also, Ochako and Mineta on the same team, you could have, like, floating sticky bubbles and, like stick people. I think it's, like, a good combination. And then, like...
But then, if she were to touch the bubbles, wouldn't they stick to her?
Oh.
Didn't he say they stick to anything but him?
Mm-hmm. True, but then they float, and then... I don't know.
For Class 1B... Team 4 is very insecty, because there's the insect guy, then there's the girl who's... so his quirk is razor sharp, hers is lizard tail cut, and then the Semidine guy...
Glue.
Yeah.
And then the welding guy. Oh, welding guy, does he have a breastplate, or is that his hand?
I don't know, I wasn't sure if he was holding up some sort of shield.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that as well.
Maybe he can, like, weld people to the glue. Or I guess, like, we have we have the glue guy, then we have Zero, so it's sticky versus sticky. And then we have, like, the welding, which is also a form of sticky.
Yeah, it's the sticky insect team.
Yeah. But I think
we
it
need
would
to
be
come up with
interesting.
nicknames for all of them.
Yes, okay. Yeah, especially Class B, because I, will not remember. It's gonna take me... I can remember, some of their names.
I think I've got all their quirks down because I made this... I added all their quirks onto the sheet, and then last week I went through, in my own trying to remember them. So I think I've got all their quirks down. But, nah, I can't remember the names.
I wish I could speak Japanese, because I know all their names are, puns on their quirks, so that would help me, know it, but I'm just I don't know.
Yeah.
But, okay, let's move on to the next panel.
So on to the next page. So I'm saying, so now Shinso, you'll join one team from each class. So from Class A, he's going to join Team 1. And for Class B, he's going to be joining Team 5. Mm-hmm. So Class A, he's going to join Sue, Koda, Kaminari and Kirishima. And Class B, he's going to join Monoma, so who knows, they could start a bromance. Lizard Tail Cut, Twin Impact and Poltergeist. So in Team 5 he will be facing Izuku again. Will there be vestiges? Who knows? Kirishima is very excited, saying, yeah, I know you said all that stuff, but heck, I still want to be friends. It's good to have you. And Sue's thinking, oh, tell me how your quirk works. She's straight into the strategy. She's all business.
Yeah.
And then Kaminari thinks, with those looks, you must be popular with the ladies. I can tell. So Kirishima went to being friends. Suyu just wants to know how his quirk works to go forward, and Kaminari is being a pervert. So I guess if he joins Class 1A, Kaminari will be like, hey, let's go shopping. Let's get some ladies.
Or Kaminari's trying to pick a fight almost, and Koda's just too scared to talk.
Oh, do you think he's trying to pick a fight?
Yeah, I think it's kind of I feel like that's something that Tonica from Haikyuu would do. Be like, hey, pretty boy, what are you doing? So I think that's kind of picking a fight.
Oh, see, I saw it as oh, you're good with ladies. Oh, ladies will come to you. Then if we're friends, they'll come to me.
Maybe.
I'm more strategical with my perversions than Kaminari. Shinzo says, thank you for having me, but he's quite slouched, so I don't know if he's really happy.
I feel like it's probably very monotone, thanks for having me.
Yeah, or he could be bowing, but I think maybe he's just sleepy, isn't he? And then we see Monoma, who is pulling his magician pose. I like you already. You seem ready to crush that rotten Class 1A into the dirt. Twin Impact Gentleman, whose outfit looks more sci-fi than I thought it would be. He's saying, please ignore everything that Monoma says.
It looks like on a Dragon Ball, which I've just started.
It does, doesn't it? It's really... Yeah, but Shinso again says, thank you for having me. Aichiko's watching. She says, he's on Class B's Team 5. You'll get a rematch with him, Deku. They just sort of stiffens up saying, okay. But he's still wondering about those vestiges. But for now, he gets out his journal, his hero notebook.
I just want to point out, Monma's still screaming welcome in the background.
Yeah, and he's lunging forwards while leaning back.
He's just pointing his dick at it. But I think he's more like, hello. It's just what are you, Monoma? Please stop. But also, Shinso and him are a really good combination because Monoma's really good at getting people to react to him. So I think Shinso should learn from him about provoking people.
Oh, he's so weird.
Oh my god. Monoma is immediately going to copy Shinso. And you won't even know it. How will you know if he's copying his quirk or not? You won't know until you answer him. I feel Deku's team's gonna have to put in earplugs or something.
Yeah.
And communicate via hand sign just to make sure that they don't get screwed with.
So Izuku's looking at his hero journal and he's saying, with Shinzo all powered up, I'm excited to see how he fights. And then in the background, Aichiko's like, where did you pull that from? Where do you hide it?
It's in his it's a collapsible notebook in his belt or something. Or his butt.
Yeah, or he's got a pocket into the sewed in to the front of his shirt so he can just stuff it down there.
Yeah. Or this is a different notebook. It's not the one that got beat up. It's a new one.
Got a nice new clean one from when that bastard set it on fire and threw it in a pond.
It's not. This is number 14 then, probably?
Could be. I don't know.
I think it was 13 before. I think this is 14.
So Shinso's putting on his mask and they're at the entertainment zone. Well, someone saying, teams start at their home bases. The time limit is 20 minutes per match. If time runs out, the team with the most remaining members wins. And Mina Ishido is sitting, she's kneeling on the ground looking all cute, thinking, All Might and Midnight are here. Is love in the air? Because we know she likes to put romance in everything. What does it say in the background underneath that?
Oh, it says, Midnight saying, cut that out. I don't mess with older men. And I wonder, she has a P on, like, Ashindo has a P on her outfit. Predator? Is that what it is? Isn't she Alien Queen?
Oh, no, she wanted to be Alien Queen, but Midnight said it didn't send the right message, so now she's Pinky.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. That
Pinky!
It just makes me think of Pinky in the Brain. Do you have...
Yeah.
Okay, good. I thought you have that there, and I was like, good.
I do like when she said, cut it out, I don't mess with older men. Such a cougar. I don't know, actually, you know what? I don't think she's old enough to be a cougar yet.
Yeah.
She's saying to All Might, which class are you betting on? And he says, it's hard to say. Class A's gotten strong, dealing with one disaster after another. But, judging from the data, Class B has actually grown more. They've avoided trouble and worked on bringing out their potential. So Vlad is... There's so many people doing this knight's pose where he's holding his fist to his chest saying, now, match one. In the background as I was like, he's pumped. Start, Class A. Strength honed by real danger, or Class B with steady improvement from hard work.
And, like, one of the Class B guys, the one with the mask over his face, he looks super creepy. It's like an evil smile.
So that gentleman's quirk is scales. Haryu Rin.
Yeah, so I don't really know what that means yet.
Oh, we've seen him use it briefly in a sports festival, and he covered his arms in scales, but we don't know what the scales can do. But yeah, that is a creepyish looking smile. But it's just when you can't see the ears, it's...
You can see his ears.
It's off.
His
ears,
eyes.
Sorry, his eyes. When you can't... Ears are the opening to the soul.
Are you just terrified whenever anyone puts earmuffs on?
No, I meant to say eyes.
That's like me with Zero. Whenever he puts his helmet down, I'm just like, why do you look like a villain?
So yeah, that is a good panel of all of them there.
And Kaminari's licking his lips. I just want to say, Kaminari, his sunglasses look like they're upside down. I hate that the frame's at the bottom. It looks like they're upside down. Why?
Yeah, I agree. I hate that as well. So I'm guessing that's All Might that's saying, oh, I can't wait to see. Like, you can't wait to see the outcome. So we jump right in and we can see that we see Sue using her opaque moves as she's walking along the wall with the sound effect of peh. I guess as she's sticking, it's coming off and it's going peh, 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 peh. That long hair must really get in the way, you know. I haven't thought about it until just now.
She should cut it short. And I wonder, her speech bubble is kind of weird looking. I wonder if it's because she's whispering or something.
But she either, not necessarily cut it, but like plait it or keep it back all in one. Because if she put her knee further forwards to move up, she could kneel on it.
And people can grab your hair in fights. Like, she should cut it shorter maybe. But I love her hair though. It's pretty.
But anyway, girl chat over. She's saying each team basically knows what each other was capable of. So let's stick together and overwhelm them with our numbers. And then at the back, so I think that's Kaminari. He's saying, shouldn't I put some distance between us so I can do my thing? And that's Shinso thinking, camouflage, huh? Pretty, balls.
Pretty apparent.
Pretty apparent once you know she's there. And Kirishima saying, too far though. You don't want to end up alone. So he's responding to Kaminari.
Not too
saying
far.
It's too far. Oh, okay. So Kaminari is carrying on. He's saying, true enough, kind of scared of Shizawi though, given her range and track record with me. So this is referring back to the sports festival when Kaminari embarrassingly asked her out on a date. She said no and then promptly defeated him.
Because she can make her vines into like insulation, kind of.
Yeah, so he attacked her with everything he had. It had no effect on her. He went all stupid and then she just pushed him out of the room. So Shinso's saying, we'll want to start by taking down whoever's got the nastiest quirk. He said that one thing which has led Kaminari to say, oh, you're getting the hang of this, Shinso. From his one observation. Aww. And Shinso carries on, that much would be obvious to anyone. Kaminari was like, what? But I paid you a compliment. Aww. So Shinso's thinking, which means we ought to... oh, no, this is Sue. It's Sue saying, which means we ought to eliminate Ibara, while our foes are likely to go after Kaminari first. And this hasn't dawned on Kaminari because he's pulling his stupid face.
Okay, is Ayabara the Vine Girl? Is it?
Yes.
It's Shozaki Ayabara, and she just refers to people by their first name?
I think so, because she's a lovely lady. While our foes are likely to go after Kaminari first, or possibly Shinso with his powerful brainwashing and relative lack of experience. And then Kaminari is saying, hey, thanks for having my back, guys. Kirishima's like, you want to set this up so you two can go all out.
He's very enthusiastic.
Koda's birdies have come back saying, coo, coo. And he's saying, oh, thank you.
Oh, I love you.
Kirishima says, oh, so you found them already? And Koda says, Shizawi is advancing on the left. She's alone. Coming toward us while her vines to search?
I think, like, he's whispering, so, like, Kirishima has to, like, put his ear, because I think he's still pretty quiet, or Kirishima's trying to listen to the birds. I'm not sure which.
Oh, I'm an idiot and I didn't read the word using, so coming towards us while using her vines to search.
And it looks...
How did I skip a word?
And I just love... She looks like something out of a horror movie. With her hair out like that. It looks super creepy.
Oh, she does, yeah. Kirishima says, I'm not all that pumped about going after a girl. But, and then there's a bam in the background and it gets all their attention. Roaring rage! In comes Beast and he grabs Sue and her hair all flips right up. And he grabs Kirishima as he rampages in.
Part of her hair becomes visible when she's grabbed, so it's hard for her to maintain it.
Yeah, she's...
Because I think we can see Sue noticing them. And then he throws them. Yeah.
So Karanai says, huh? Kirishima, Suyu! Sojirota says, we took Koda's search method into account and we knew you'd be most wary of Shizuki. She was the bait while I snuck up on you all. Giving you time to prepare would have allowed Kaminari to do what he's best at. So a brutal head-on attack was our best option. That is so clever. Good team.
And he yells out, I've got a nose for these things. And we learn his name is Jirota Shishida. His quirk is Beast, so I was going to keep calling him Beast. And he goes into Beast mode, granting him massive boost in his strength, hearing, strength, vision, and sense of smell. But the transformation also makes him wildly enthusiastic, so I think it probably makes it harder for him to be, like, logical about stuff. So maybe he's, like, too enthused about stuff.
Imagine if he gets so enthusiastic that his enthusiasm is actually only on, like, the level of Ida. So he's not actually that enthusiastic, it's just that Class 1A is mad.
And they say, like, discharge, and he thinks to himself, discharge now and you'll injure your allies, Denkai Kaminari. And Air Guy goes, training my quirk gave me a whole new move. It's soundproof solitary confinement, air prison. I was like, can he still breathe? Is Koda gonna be okay? It is a cool... Yeah, like...
How long will that air last for?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, like... Did he just kill Koda? And then we see Shindo touching his thingy, and he's like, we're here, now wreck them, Shishida. Who yells out, you got it! And Kaminari says, and we're done here. I think it's Kaminari?
Yeah, he's like shouting in terror.
Yeah, but then there's silence. And the guy riding on him wonders, how are you talking with my voice? Deku's like, oh, that mask. And he goes, Persona chords. He's played a lot of Persona. And I love that it's like clicking. It's a very creepy mask. And I thought for a second, the first time I read it, I thought he was just like adjusting the tone so that like maybe the guy has like a higher pitched voice, so he just like upped the pitch. But I think he's actually copying the voice. And I guess if you hear the guy talk a bit, you can like record it and then like imitate it back? Like, what's the science behind this mask?
I don't know, but to be fair, last week I gave myself 3 guesses. So I was right on one of them, but yes. If you give yourself 3 guesses, you're likely to be right.
I was completely wrong about the mask, like, just negating his ability. But I think it's interesting. I'm wondering how Deku will counter this. Like, how will his team be able to beat them if he can just throw his voice around? Like, how do you make sure it's actually your teammate talking to you?
His quirk is so strong. Like, at the start when they were all saying, he was carrying deadbeat weight. oh, it's really a disadvantage. I was like, they're talking about this in the negative so much that Shinso's going to pull off something really cool.
Yeah.
I was like, this is blatant foreshadowing for the rest of the chapter.
But I feel like what Deku's team might do, you put earplugs in, or maybe you just only communicate via hand signs, like you don't actually talk to each other. Just do hand signs for everything, so that way if you hear your teammate talking, you know it's not actually your teammate.
Yeah.
And then also, Deku and Oju's not his team. Deku knows that to get snapped out of it, you just need to, like, be hit by something, like, get physical pain. So I think, like, someone could get brainwashed, and you just need to punch them. And they're out of it, yeah. Like, the solution of punching people. And, like, so I guess the most he could do, really, is, like, oh, go walk yourself into the cage.
Yeah.
But then, or, like, you can't really, like, oh, fight your friend, because the moment the person fights back, they're going to get knocked out of it.
I really like this chapter. It was quite dialogue heavy at the start. There was a lot of explaining what was going to happen, which I thought was a bit unnecessary. You could easily just say we're going to split into teams of 2 and fight each other, and Shinso's going to be on someone's team. So when they kept on saying how weak he was. I was like, calling this bluff. But I really like it, and I'm really looking forward to how it will go with all the one-on-one class fights.
I love the double page spread of the teams, like, and there's so much, like, everyone's doing different poses, like, it's actually interesting to look at it, and it just makes me wonder, like, how long are we gonna spend? I wonder, like, if it's just gonna be a little bit, and the anime will do the whole fight or something, and then we only see, like, all of the first fight and all of the last fight, maybe? But we'll probably see all of Bakugo's fight too, maybe? I don't know.
I'd like to see, even if we don't see all of the fight, I'd like to see, like, how they take each other out. So maybe if, say, for example, if we could take matchup 2, which is Tokiyami, Toru, Momo, and Aoyama's team versus Mushroom, Kendo, Black, and Manga Guy, who's... Even if we don't see, for example, if we don't see them take out Mushroom and we don't see them take out Comic, I'd like to see, like, a little bit of the fight of how they did it. So it doesn't need to be the whole thing, but at least if they show, like, little bits.
I want a chance to see all of their quirks, all of Class B's quirk. And I guess, like, Manga's, like, his name is Manga, but probably the name of his quirk is also Manga, so, like, literally his quirk is just his name.
His quirk name is Comic.
But that's manga. That's what manga is in Japanese.
Oh, does it mean comic?
Yes.
Oh, I'm a fool.
So I'm pretty sure his name's Manga and his quirk is Manga.
Brilliant.
Yes.
They changed his name after they found out about his quirk.
Maybe his parents all have, like, speech bubble things, because I think his first name basically translates to speech bubble. And his last name's Manga? Okay, no, wait, I need to, like...
His first name's Manga, and his second name is something else, but I can't remember what it was.
I think it just translates to speech bubble. So his name is literally Speech Bubble Comic. And I also love he has his hand out too. He's like, fight me. It's like, you're just like a speech bubble, man. I really want to see, like, him attack somebody with a speech bubble.
Same. I still think it might be what, like, I hypothesized last week, and he can somehow put them into a page or make something on a page come to life. I don't know.
I think there's a music video when that happens where it's like...
Is that Aha, Take On Me?
Yeah, Take On Me. I was thinking of the parody one. Take on me. Take me on. So I just want it to turn into a music video, and everyone else is just like, what is happening?
Brilliant.
I think it'll be fun. Okay, do you want, like, how long do you think this will be? I guess we really have no idea.
I think it could be like I think the fight 1 is going to be finished up next week. Mm-hmm. I think 2 and 3 aren't going to take up very long. Mm-hmm. 4 might take so I think 2 and 3 are going to, I think it'll probably be about a chapter and a half each, except maybe for group 5, because that has both Izuku and Shinso in, that could be 2 chapters, especially if Shinso's brainwashing, if it brings the vestiges back again, or if Izuku wants to be brainwashed so that he can talk to them more and find out.
I didn't even think of that. Because I was thinking, he'll be smart to avoid it, but he might seek it out.
Yeah, especially since he sort of put them together and thought, this is when I first saw them, so maybe he'll sideline it.
And I feel like Ochako is, like, guaranteed to be mind-controlled, because we've had a fake Ochako before to fake us out. I think, like, a mind-controlled Ochako would, and, like, just a vacant eyes would be really scary.
I'm looking back at this 2-page spread again. She's even, like, her and Deku are even staring at each other now.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Oh, it is sweet. So they're staring at each other, and then everyone in Class B is just staring at
Monoma.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, shut up. Why are we with you, you crazy magician?
Yeah. I feel like Monoma is going to do something ridiculous. Like, guaranteed.
He's one of the weaker members of Class B, though, isn't he? He's the only one that failed the exams, and he... Oh, no, he did pass the provisional license exam. But he's the only one from 1B that failed the class exams, not the hero license one.
I just wonder, like, how
Did you
they'll
just
use...
burp?
I just burped, sorry. It was a small one. I guess, like, so he has the dual pressure dude, who's the little guy. We have
Twin Impact.
We have
Twin Impact, Poltergeist, and her quirk is size.
Oh yeah. So oh my god, we're gonna get a giant, like, screaming Monoma.
Oh, he's gonna love it.
Or I wonder, like, okay, I guess the question is, are you allowed to break out of prison?
Monoma? Oh, sorry, I thought of Mineta. Where her quirk is so similar to Mount Lady, and we know that Mineta loves Mount Lady.
Yeah, like, especially Mineta's on a team with 2 girls and Deku, he's probably gonna be, like, a pervert. And Poltergeist is a girl, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at her outfit. What is that jacket?
It's her winter outfit.
Is it? It doesn't look like a fur coat. It looks like it's been made out of newspaper clippings or something. Like a piñata.
Maybe. Yeah,
What is she wearing?
Scraggly. I wish she should have just had, like, a sheet overhead and been, like, a ghost.
Oh, like a fancy dressed cheap ghost.
Yes, because we have, like, we know it's Poltergeist, but what does that mean? Like, does she... is she the phase-through girl?
Yes. Yeah, she can do that. She can probably do other things as well, but...
Yeah, so she's like Shadow Cat or something from X-Men. I know it's an X-Files.
So, yeah. I don't know if I have anything more about that. So I'm wondering if the vestiges are going to come out again with Izuku. I think that each group is going to last probably a chapter and a half, or I hope it does.
I feel like 2 and 3 might end up sharing. Like, they'll do it so fast that it might be like they each get, like, one ends, like, really fast.
Yeah.
Like, if Mushroom Girl can knock people out with, like, mushroom spores or something, ridiculous. But I don't know. Who knows? I think that's all I got to say.
I'm really impressed by Class B's Group 1, their tactics. They came up with a really good plan, taking into account everyone's abilities. I mean, Suyu came up with the plan of overwhelming everyone with size, but they've really considered everyone's quirks and thought about, like, ahead to think of what they would do. Because, like, we know that Ibarra is very strong, and they've realised that they'll think that, so they're using her as a decoy, even though she has such a strong ability, which is a really good plan. Instead of thinking, oh, you're our strongest one, we'll use you, they're using her in a different way.
And we have no idea where the Rin guy is. The ponytail, the braided hair tail mask man.
Scales.
Yeah,
yes. No, we don't know where he is.
We have no idea where he is. So I guess, like, I think as though Beast is under their control, so he can just, like, carry his tiny friend, carry Air Guy into the
tiny
prison.
Friend.
I keep thinking he's short, but that's Twin Impact who's short. I just don't like Air Guy because his face creeps me out.
I wonder if he's going to... Oh, he's not solid air. When you said you realise that if someone, like, hits the person under control, that knocks them out, I don't think solid air would be strong enough to knock Beast out.
I don't know. Or it doesn't have to knock them out. It just has to, like, startle them.
Beast is a big, strong guy. Like, big, strong animals need a lot of force to hurt them. And I don't think little Kosei, solid air, could do that. I think he'd just sort of hit him on the back of the head and Beast would be like, a fly. A fly landed on me.
Pretty much. I wonder, but then maybe Scales will jump out of nowhere and, like, deck the Beast, and then, like, he'll be like, "Oh, I'm back at it again."
No, I think Class B will lose just because of Shinso. They underestimated him too much.
Yeah, I think that'll be cool. And then, like, I think 5 will be like the real 5 versus 5. I think will be like the real test of like how strong he is when there's someone on the team who like really knows how his quirk works and how to get out of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like they have to have a showdown, but it might be kind of funny if they didn't, if like Shinso knew that and avoided him.
Or if Izuku's just like, brainwash me, I want to talk to my vestiges friends, and he just spends the whole fight like in his mind chatting to
As
them.
he like, and he wakes up and he just decimated the rest of his team.
And Ochiko's like, Izuku, what were you doing? I thought you could come help us. And he's like, oh, sorry, love. Talking to my friends in my mind.
Yeah. You just call me love, and he's like, no, I'm still brainwashed. And then runs.
Oh, that's a Northern English thing. You're all right, love.
Oh yeah.
So I made him into like an old Yorkshire man.
The real. That's
Just like, sorry, love. I was chatting to my mates in my mind.
going to my mind palace.
Team 2. How do you think the outcome will go there?
I think B. Like, I feel like they'll win. Like, I think A will win in this as well, because like Kendo's cool, but like the rest of their team doesn't seem that interesting.
Kendo's the class rep as well. It's class rep against vice class rep.
Yeah, and like so, but also maybe like that'll kind of, like A will win. It'll be like, oh, that's easy, but then like the second team will kind of throw us for a loop and they'll lose.
Yeah.
To kind of like show how good they actually are. Like I think Kendo is like smart, so it'll be like smart versus smart, like the filler with Momo versus Tea Lady. 2B will win, and then I think 3 versus 3 will be like very close. Just like I don't know why, I just love the idea of like Pony Girl actually being a real threat.
Yeah. She can't speak English, Japanese that well either.
Oh, then she'll be actually the perfect person if she was against Shindo, because she wouldn't understand what he was saying, so she couldn't respond to it.
But I agree with you. I think in Team Up 2, I think B might win. In Team Up 3, I think it'll probably be Class A, because, I mean, they're going against Shoto and Ida. Sorry,
Yeah.
Ojiro and Shoji, not to diss you, but 4, I want...
And then 4? I don't know.
I want B to win, because Lizard Tail Cut Girl is my favourite. And also Razor Sharp. I like his design as well.
And I love Weldy
And
Guy.
Bakugo needs a slap.
I love Weldy Guy. Exactly. Bakugo needs a little bit more humbling. Like, I think it would be good for him to be like... Because he's actually made a lot of progress, but I think he needs another loss.
Yeah.
But also, they have Zero, who's, like, perfect for this. He's, like, the capture hero.
Oh, unless his,
And I like...
his tape gets dissolved away, or, I don't know, welded onto the person. Oh, it's stuck on anyway, so I guess the welding is... How is Weldy Man going to use... I don't know, I'm interested in how he welds to win. There was a cartoon on the internet called Burnt Face Man. I don't know if you saw it. I think it was on Weebles and stuff.
No.
And it was this cartoon guy would say, I won't let my burnt face stop me from fighting crime. And one of his enemies was called Welding Man. And he kind of chimed in saying, I'm Welding Man. I'm welding this can of Coke into a radiator. If anyone has watched it, they'll know what I mean. If not, it's the ramblings of a mad woman.
No
but
idea.
It's really funny.
Nice. Yeah, and I don't know. I think I kind of agree. Like, I hope 4B wins just because, like, it'd be interesting. And, like, they got Sugar Man on their team, and Sugar Man is boring, and I don't care about him. So he can lose.
Take that, Diabetes Sato.
Exactly. And, like, 5... I feel like Deku's teams will probably win because Deku's there, but maybe he'll lose. And then, like, if Shinso sweeps both teams, so, like, he won both, does that mean he joins? Like, what's the criteria here? Like, if he loses one, does he not get to join?
I don't know, because they said he's applying. They didn't say that this was his exam or anything, so I don't know if he will actually get in this year or if it will be next year. I don't know if he will join after this.
I still think Eraserhead's going to do a fake out thing where he's like, well, he'll like partway through the first match, he might do an announcement being like, if you lose, he will take one of your places. And everyone freaks out, but then it turns out it was a logical ruse. We haven't had a logical ruse in a while. I want a logical ruse.
That's true, we haven't had one for a little while.
Okay, I think we can round out.
Woo! Okay, so thank you for listening to this week's episode of the My Hero Academia podcast. You can find us on Twitter at MHAPod. We also have a website now. Ooh. For www.mhapod.com. We're very excited about it. Please
check it out. Check it out.
We're also on Tumblr and Reddit. You can email us at myheropod@gmail.com. So the Twitter and the website are mhapod.com, but the email is myheropod@gmail.com.
We gotta keep things up, and the Tumblr is My Hero Academia podcast. It's all written out because we gotta make things as complicated as possible. It's my mantra. And you can follow me on Twitter at Sniper of My Heart.
And you can find me at Chopper's Antlers.
So let's go beyond.
Plus Ultra!
Ultra!